Hey there, welcome back to another Slightly Rednecked video. Again, my name is Chris. If you're not familiar with this channel, well, I help you to produce your own meat, eggs, and vegetables from your backyard, your balcony, your deck, your garage, or even a spare room in your house if that's the way you want to do it. I've got this whole cage here full of my recent grow out, well, my recent litter anyway, my last litter of New Zealand white Tamuk rabbits. The mother's in there with them. And they're about 8 weeks old, so it's a good time to go ahead and get them, sexed and moved, separated out, the males and the females, into some grow out pens. It's summertime, so I've got short sleeves on, and if you know anything about handling rabbits, they tend to kick a little bit whenever you pick them up because they're panicky. They're not aggressive necessarily, but panicky, and they tend to scratch your arms up pretty good. But I got a solution for that today. So what I did is I picked up, I don't know why I never thought of this before, but somebody actually mentioned this to me one time. I picked up a couple of these Welder sleeves from Harbor Freight. So these are great. They're thick, they're heavy, leather. I think these are going to do the job and protect my arms. So let's try that and see what. Look at that. Just covers my whole arm right there. So they can kick all they want on that, and that's not going to bother them a bit. And I think these were, I don't know, maybe $20. They were cheap. But we're going to give these a try. I'm also going to put on some gloves, and we're going to see if we can get these rabbits sexed, moved to other cages without getting too many scratches or nicks on my arms and hands. I think these are going to be a great solution. It keeps me from having to put on, a heavy shirt or something like that, and even a shirt, like a flannel shirt or something like that, it rides up on my arm, and these are pretty sturdy. I think they're going to hold up pretty well. We're going to see how well they work. So let me get in here, we'll grab one, see if it's a boy or a girl, we'll move it over to the grow out pen, and we'll get through this mess. There's 8 of them in there, I think. No, 7 it looks like, 7. So not too bad. But this is going to save me a lot of hassle because right now they've got one water bowl in there, they're going through it multiple times a day, probably spill more than they drink. So getting them separated out, a couple in one pen, a couple in the other pen, that's going to cut down on the amount of water that I have to give each, how many times a day I have to water. They shouldn't go through a full water bowl in a day if there's only 3 or 4 in a pen. So we're going to give this a try. Let me bring the camera in a little bit closer. We'll see how it goes. Okay, I'm going to try to do this where I don't block the camera too much. They're anxious. They want some water and some feed right now, so they're gonna have I'm gonna have a hard time keeping them all inside the pen. But let's just grab the first rabbit, and there we go. There we go. And she's kicking like crazy. Of course, he, she. I don't know if it's a male or a female yet. We're gonna find out. Give her time to calm down. Give him time to calm down. Oh, calm down. I don't have a single scratch on me yet, so that's good. Okay, are you a boy or a girl? Oh, calm down. Calm down. Let's just take a look. This is a little doe, so pretty easy to tell if you haven't seen this before. It's a little easier when they're smaller to handle them, but basically, see if I can get this on camera. So you basically just look down here, push. I don't know how well that's showing up. Looks like a taco. That is a doe. So let's get her in the pen. All right, one more, one down, 6 to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, yeah, 6 to go. All right, let's see what we can do here. Oh. And it is a little bit of a process. Calm down. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Let's see what we got here. Oh, almost checked. Just relax. Just relax. Oh. And this is not aggression. Again, this is just they're panicky because they're not used to being handled a whole lot. And that's a little boy. I don't know if I can show this on camera or not, But basically, I always say the last one looked like a taco, and that looks like a burrito. I don't know how well that shows up, but this is a little buck. All right. I don't know if you need to watch me do all of these, but we'll see what we can do here. Get back. Get back. Kicking away, and I don't have a single scratch on me. Okay, okay. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Let's see what we got here. Oh, nope, 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 nope. Just relax. Oh. This one here is wound up. All right. It'll be over in just a second. Just give me a second. That's another doe. They look a lot better now. Just all kind of, a lot more room, spread out a little bit. I don't think I have enough food with me. I'll give them what I got, and I'll have to get some more probably. Bring out here later. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get some more feed, fill up their feeders. But anyway, that gets them started. That gets them enough to get going with. Yeah, this should work out a whole lot better. When they were in that cage with the mom, I mean, it was starting to get a little bit crowded. They're 8 weeks old, they're weaned, they're ready to go to their own pen. It's a good time to get them sexed out. I always like to do that before they get to be 12 weeks old because, you know, by the time they get to be about 12 weeks old, the bucks are starting to get a little bit amorous, I guess is the word for it. And, you know, they're too young to breed at that point, but, you know, still, you don't want them trying to mount the females and, you know, all that kind of stuff going on because they're siblings, they're litter mates. So it's good to get the does separated from the bucks before they hit 12 weeks. And I always find that about between 6 to 8 weeks is a good time to do that. Once they're weaned, you're going to move into a grow out pen. And I've been a little bit lazy with these, not doing it. I should have done it probably a week or so ago, but this works. So we'll just give them some time to grow out. You know, just to give you guys a little bit of an update on the Tamuks themselves, how I'm finding them, because this is my first successful Tamuk litter. She did a great job, great mom, just like a New Zealand white should. They're growing out a little bit slow, but I don't know if that's because of the heat of summer. As far as heat tolerance, they seem to be incredibly heat tolerant. I come out here and they're not hardly even panting. I mean, and we've been up 100 degrees almost every day. And I come out here and check on them, and they're just kind of hanging out, just kind of relaxing. They look fine. They're not really panting. They don't look like they're at all bothered by it. My other rabbits, my silver foxes, you know, they're not even overly bothered by it either, but they do a little bit more noticeable. They'll kind of sit there and kind of, you'll see them kind of pant a little bit, and they don't want to move around a lot. And these guys are a lot more active, even in the heat, than my silver foxes are. They don't just lay around all the time. So yeah, I think they are probably a little bit more heat tolerant. And I don't know if, like I said, the heat of summer is causing some issues with growth because they're not super big yet. They're probably maybe in the 4-pound range, and I'd like to see them closer to a 5-pound range by this point. But that's not that big of a deal. It works out all right. Anyhow, pick up a pair of welding sleeves. I mean, that's a lifesaver right there. Those things are great. I don't know why I never thought about that. I sold a rabbit to somebody. Oh, good grief! It's been months and months ago, and he mentioned that that's what he does. He has some welder sleeves he puts on when he goes out and handles rabbits when you're pulling them out of the cage specifically. I don't need them when I'm just reaching in the cage. You know, if I'm doing something inside the cage. Usually don't even need them whenever I'm taking the doe to the buck. I can usually get a doe out without. You know, she's big enough, I can kind of fold her up a little bit and usually get her out and get her in the buck's cage without getting too scratched up. But when I'm doing this kind of thing where I'm trying to sex baby rabbits and stuff, definitely I need something on my arms and covering my hands to keep from getting scratched up. And that's a win. I mean, those things are great. You just put them on, peel them right off. You don't have to commit to, you know, a big heavy shirt or something like that. So it's definitely worth the investment. Like I said, I think those cost me maybe $20. Bought them at Harbor Freight. They may have been a little cheaper than that, I don't remember. But they did the job. They did great. They were way better than cloth. I mean, I didn't feel a single thing with those guys kicking on my arms and all. Not a single scratch. And whereas normally I'd have like a flannel or something like that on, and they'll get through that, sometimes rip the flannel. They're not tearing through that. So that's definitely worth the investment. I suggest you picking some up. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Just wanted to show you something that I found helpful that hopefully you will find helpful too. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, God bless.